What is up, you guys? My name is Austin Marks. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm currently a respiratory therapist, and I've been a respiratory therapist for approximately 2 years now. On my channel, I talk about respiratory therapy, I talk about PA school a little bit, and the application process for that. So if you guys want to see any of that, make sure you like and subscribe, and check out my channel. So in today's video, I'll be talking about what I do on night shift. So I have a bunch of other videos for a day in the life. I talk about a day in the ICU on day shift. I talk about trauma in the ER. I do want to do a CV ICU or cardiovascular ICU and what I do during that day. However, tonight is just going to strictly be night shift and what I do on my night shift. So for my night shift, I generally sleep for the majority of the day if I worked the night before. If I did not work the night before, I like to get up around noon and therefore have my time from noon till 5:30 or so when I get to leave for work. So I live approximately 30-40 minutes from work. I start work at 6:30 on the days that I do my 12-hour shifts for a night shift. So I'll go into work, I'll go ahead and talk to the respiratory therapist, I'll get my report. I want to know exactly what's going on with my patients. And honestly, this is where it varies. Because I can be in the ICU, I can be on the floors, I can be in the ER. There's so many different things. So I'm just going to kind of talk about an overall aspect. However, if you want to see those special areas, make sure you check out any of those other videos. So I get in, I get my report, I understand what's going on with my patients. So then what I do is I start my rounds, I go in, I give my breathing treatments, I do my therapies, I'm going to be doing my vent checks. If I'm in the ER, I want to strictly stay down there just because everything that comes in is generally an emergency. However, if the ER is pretty slow, I will go ahead and help other respiratory therapists finish their work. So my first round starts around 7 o'clock and I have between 7 and 9 to finish those rounds. So the amount of patients I have can vary tremendously depending on how many patients are there, how many respiratory therapists are there. So it honestly all depends. There are many different factors that go into it. So like I said, I do all my therapies and all that other jazz until about 9 o'clock. If anyone needs to go on transport or go anywhere, I will go ahead and help out with that. But 9 o'clock comes, I'll go downstairs, grab my lunch, my breakfast, whatever you want to call it. It's 9 o'clock at night, however, I'm on night shift, my time is so different. So then once I go ahead and finish eating, do whatever, then I will go back up and see my patients again, because a lot of our patients that we see are either a BiPAP at night or a CPAP, so I will go ahead and hook my patients up to that. Just because I want to know their settings, I know how to use all the machines, I plug them in, I work them, I get them to fit the patient, I want to know the patient's home settings. If he doesn't know his home settings, we're trying to figure out what works best for the patient, that way they'll actually wear it all night. One downfall is many patients absolutely hate our machines because it's not their machines, so therefore they only wear it for half the night, sometimes an hour at best. So once everyone's tucked in the bed real nice, as you'd say, what do? So we go downstairs and we sleep, of course.
Got him! Got him!
Not really. We do not sleep on night shift. That is something that is a no-go. We cannot do that because patients need us. Patients die throughout the night. They have chest pain. They go into cardiac arrest. It's not good. And sometimes down the ER you have different traumas that come in, because I work at a trauma center. We have patients who come in all night for motor vehicle accidents. We have stabbings, shootings, the whole 9 yards. Maybe someone just got up and fell, hit their head pretty hard and they were blood thinners, whatever. We gotta go down and intubate them and put them on vent, do the whole 9 yards with that as well. The ER is generally also very busy at night because a lot of times people wait all day. They're like, I'll just push it off to the next day. Like, my asthma isn't that bad, or my COPD exacerbation isn't that bad. And then finally they go down to sleep and they can't breathe at all. So they're like, okay, I gotta come into the ER. So the ER is generally very busy at night as well. So there's no relaxing with that. So what I may do during this time is I may go and evaluate other patients, do my assessment on them. Maybe they're just coming in for admissions, maybe they change floors, maybe just a new assessment is due, maybe someone's asking me to go assess them, whatever. I'll go assess them, I'll see if they need any new therapies, any new medications, what medications they have at home, what do they take, anything like that, and I'll go ahead and add that if they're having any respiratory problems. If I'm in the ICU, I'll just do my vent checks. I'll put those patients on CPAP, BiPAP, whatever. I just want to make sure they're all doing okay. If they need any vent changes, they need gases, anything like that, I'll do that. I just want to make sure that everybody is okay and nobody's going to be dying on me that night. I will say this now, most times on night shift, it can be slower than the day shift. Now that I say that, I'm gonna go to work tonight and it's gonna be super fast. Everyone's gonna be dying on me. So like I worked a shift the other night. I think we had 3 codes, 2 traumas, and two more intubations. It was crazy. I did a lot of chest compressions that night, a lot of running. I sat downstairs in my chair for maybe 15 minutes, grabbed a bite to eat, and kind of vent to everyone about how crappy our night was going. It's not like that all the time though. There are definitely some nights where I pretty much do nothing because everyone's sleeping, nobody's dying, nobody's having any issues whatsoever, and I'm not really needed. I just do my vent checks, my BiPAP checks, my CPAP checks, any PRNs that may be required. So if someone wakes up in the middle of the night and they're having a little issue breathing, I will go and see them, give them some breathing treatments, do whatever, just make sure they're okay and they can go back to bed safely. But if it is a very slow night, I will sometimes get a TV show in or two. That's okay, because I mean, if anything happens, anyone calls me, anyone needs me, I will go ahead and I will be there. I am there. However, if it's very slow, I do get to watch a TV show every now and then. Sometimes I get to edit my videos at night. Like I said, it's not as busy as day shift sometimes, knock on wood. However, we also need to make sure everything is stocked, all the equipment is cleaned, everything's calibrated, just ready for day shift for the next day. So on my 12-hour night shift, I come in, the 7 to 9 o'clock round is pretty busy. I'll do rounds again around 11 to 1, generally that's that time frame, and then I'll do rounds again around 3 o'clock at night, or in the morning I should say. So 3 different times, and like I said, I can either space it out, that way they're kind of close together, they're really far apart. Plus it all depends on if anyone's dying or not, or if anyone needs me. I would say that the slowest time throughout your night would be from last rounds till 7 o'clock in the morning when everyone else comes in. That is just the graveyard hour and it just drags and it is extremely slow. However, once the next shift comes in, I give them a report. I tell them about all the patients, anything that may have happened the day before, anything that may have happened overnight, if there were any events or anything, or just anything crazy happening. So like I said, night shift can either be very fast paced, or it can be very slow. That's why they call it the graveyard shift sometimes as well. So it's a hit or miss, honestly. Some nights are better than others, but it is what it is. So a lot of times as a new grad, you will work night shift, you will start out on night shift. So I've been a respiratory therapist for 2 years and I've been on night shift the entire time. I hope to go to day shift sometime in the near future, hopefully this year, but I mean, we'll see. Well anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.